Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Chronic Brew, the podcast where we talk about managing your chronic illness without losing your spirit. Okay? Now imagine a job that demands you to be physically strong, showing up sun up to sundown. A job that is pretty much the legacy of your entire family. Now, imagine having to show up for that job and uphold those traditions while simultaneously scheduling your life around dialysis treatments. Okay, today we're talking to a man who is navigating that impossible balance. His story is about fierce commitment, generational duty, and what it truly means to be resilient. Stick with us. This is a powerful episode. And once again, welcome to the Chronic Brew.
You are now tuned into the Chronic Brew podcast with Mr. Coolbeard, sharing stories, inspiring others.
Welcome back to the Chronic Brew. I'm usually recording in my little podcast studio, but for this episode, I had to take the microphone on the road because, well, frankly, I had a doctor's appointment myself and I just wasn't going to make it back in time. However, though, that little detour still led me to this incredible conversation I knew I just couldn't wait to share. Today, you'll hear my session with Mr. Jarod Palmer. See, Jarod's life is a masterclass in fierce commitment, carrying forward his family's generational legacy of hard work while managing the intense, lifelong challenges of dialysis. To me, it's a dual battle of health and heritage that demands incredible resilience. This is a deep dive into how you fight for your life while fiercely holding on to the work and the values that define it. So, go ahead, take a seat, and let's listen to my conversation with Mr. Jarod Palmer. He is carrying forward generations of hard work, making sure that tradition doesn't stop with him, all while managing the intense, lifelong challenges that come with dialysis. It's a dual battle of commitment, honestly. And he's committed to it. He's committed to his health and his heritage. I want to welcome you guys to the one and only Jarod Palmer.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I get to sit down with someone that I can connect with on a male level, so I appreciate this. So before we even begin, I want you to let everybody know who Jarod is, telling us a little bit about yourself and what drives you every single day.
Well, a little bit about me. Where should I start? Let's see. Well, of course, on dialysis, but I'm a hardworking young man, and but I don't let it get me down, man. I have a lawn service.
Okay.
I farm, and it is just do what I can. You know what I'm saying, to provide for my kids.
So as far as what are some of the stuff that you farm? Matter of fact, what's some of your favorite things to farm on your property?
My favorite is melon. Watermelon.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Now, do you have different varieties you grow, or is it a specific type that you grow?
Yes, sir. I do red, yellow, and orange. But different variety melons, but they all are coming. It depends on what variety of red and what variety of yellow and orange.
I got to pause you for a second because I've never seen an orange watermelon. Never. I mean, there's cantaloupe, right? There's honeydew.
I got some pictures, man. I can show you.
Bro, I got to check this out because I have never seen an orange watermelon. All right. Now, as far as your family history, how far back does the farming legacy go for you?
I'm the third generation.
And your peeps all been local here in the northern Florida region?
Yep. But my granddad, he was all over Florida with it, from the top to the bottom.
I'm still kind of stuck on that orange watermelon piece. All right, Jarod, man, you're a farmer, you're a dad, you're on dialysis, bro. You're doing a whole agricultural piece and then trying to manage dialysis. I can't even imagine what that's like for you on a day-to-day. Like, what's the fatigue level like in managing both, the dialysis and the farming?
Don't get me wrong. Some days, I have, where I feel tired or something like that. But it's when the season's in, man, it's just like I barely go through it because I be so focused, because I have my uncle that helped me.
Right.
A lot of it I do by myself.
Okay.
So sometimes that fatigue, man, I just go. When the season ends, just stuff be at a high demand, so I just had to get out there and get it.
I hear that. All right, so let's jump right into the interview, man. What was the single most important mental shift that you had to make after starting dialysis?
Oh, man. Like I say, it was just mostly trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to survive because I was working at the time.
Right.
doing my lawn service.
Hmm.
And like in the beginning, man, I couldn't do it.
Wow.
If I tried to go outside with the heat, even 30 minutes, I'd black out.
Yeah.
So, that was my body trying to get used to that. But that's it, man. Trying to provide because I'm big on family.
CKD does take a toll on how you manage, fluid intake. And so, like, if you're not properly hydrated, that dehydration can wreck you. I even recall a time when I had just did a surgery on my kidneys and I tried to go out and go bike. And boy, I had to turn that bike around real fast because I was about to
Yeah.
pass out. You know what I mean? Was there any moments where you felt like things could have been grim and you just didn't know, how you're going to make it meet now that you had to switch jobs and do something completely different?
Oh yeah, man. That thing it's something in depression.
Mm,
Yeah, it really did that because I didn't know. Being a man,
yeah.
we was taught like never depend on nobody. Yeah,
Facts.
never depend on nobody. You got to always make sure you got you.
Now, you talked about depression. I feel like a
Mhm.
lot of people, they don't really get that part of how the mental side of things kind of do more damage than the physical stuff. Like, for example, as a man, there's a particular standard that you probably have for yourself when it comes to like providing and, doing all the things for your family and making sure everybody's fed, making sure you setting your house up straight. What was that kind of like for you and how did you manage to like snap out of those dark moments?
Oh man, it was real rough, man. Like I said, it's just trying to figure out how I'm going to provide like I'm supposed to. And what brought me out of that, man, all honesty, is for one, God.
Yeah, yeah, I hear
Yeah,
that.
God, that's the second time God has ever talked to me in his life. Just how me and you talking right now. I heard him clear as day. And it was for one God, and then man, when I started doing my first treatments, I seen different ages, different nationalities,
Right.
just different people, and I was like, you know what, you'll be all right. You will be all right. And man, from then on, I just keep it pushing.
I think there are times where the mind is so treacherous, especially when you're going through it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like you wanna be positive all the time, but there's a moment where you have to process too. You got to
Oh
sit
yeah.
down, look at yourself in the mirror, and be like, all right, this is where I'm at. How am I gonna move forward? Those moments they come in waves. They call that the grieving process. There's a lot of times we think about who we used to be before our diagnosis, and then boom, we got hit with this, and it's like we noticed a shift. But yeah, man, it still instills that hope. I do appreciate that. And people are afraid to talk about that. You mentioned your treatment. I got a lot of friends. Shout out to all the kidney warriors who are on dialysis right now. That treatment is no joke. When you're completely drained after treatment, what's the smallest activity that helps you feel like you're the farmer again?
I guess you call that excuse just to drive out there to look at the field, bro. Just ride around looking at
Okay.
the field, looking at my work.
I like that simply because of the fact that I feel like it kind of reminds you that you're not. I know a lot of times people like to, be like, well, I am this because I have this chronic illness. But then you always go back to what reminds you of your responsibilities.
Hmm.
I think I got to use that. Okay. All right. We forget who we are because of, the chronic illness. That's it. That's who we are. That's our new identity. No, we just happen to have this thing.
That's what I say. This is not the end.
It definitely isn't the end, man. I guess this now is talking about the support system. I know we mentioned the whole depression and trying to remember, who we are when we come out of treatment. Who do you talk to when it comes to like the weight of the farm and for your health and, just navigating those moments when you become overwhelmed?
I'll say from my mom to my dad and my uncle that be out there with me because my granddaddy, which is his dad, he
Hmm.
went through the dialysis. So yeah, those man, those are my main support systems. Like they be wanting to go to my appointments with me and stuff like that. So I have to split it up between them to go to some of my, they be feeling some type of way like, well, he went last time, let me go this. Yeah, man. But those three, man, they awesome.
Awesome, man. Now, I think, having that support system is super pivotal because, especially when you're going through the tough times. Now, I know another piece to that too is, I talk to a lot of folks with chronic illnesses, and one thing they like to, mention is that, a lot of folks in their family sometimes, they kind of validate what they're going through, or you'll have some family members who, feel like the person with the chronic illness, they're, sometimes might be trying to make excuses for why they can't do certain things. Um, no, I know you mentioned you have a solid support system, but have you ever come across a point, maybe it may not be family, maybe it might be friends, that might sometimes, and I gingerly say sometimes, kind of to validate what you're going through. Like, let's say you're tired, and they'll be like, Jarod over here just making up stories. You know what I mean? Have you ever come across that before?
Man, I was with a woman.
Okay. Okay. See? Oh, I'm not even. Go ahead, bro. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening, bro. I'm not even
Oh,
gonna.
I
I'm not trying
was
to get in trouble.
with, hey, I was with a woman.
Okay.
Man, I'm thinking, she's for me, and you know, like we were living together.
Right.
Man, I'll be tired. Oh, she thinks she's being encouraging.
Mm.
Don't sit here and mope all day. Well, why you looking like that? Just attacking me like, bro, you don't understand what I just went through with this machine. And
Damn.
you supposed to be one of my major support systems, but you make me feel like trash. Like
Oh.
I'm not faking.
Wow.
And that's a part that I was under pressure a little bit about that as well. Well, it was something else.
Oh man. Okay. Dang. I
And
think.
that's why I tell you, brother, I have a story for you.
Yeah, man. You know what? Go ahead and flesh that out. Because I never heard it where the main caregiver or the main person in the person, in the patient's life was probably the main one that was giving the unvalidation. I never caught that before.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it was rough, bro. Like, man, like the first when I first got on it, like I said, I couldn't really work and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And both of my vehicles went down, my trucks. I sat on my front porch, right out there close by you, where
Okay.
you live in it.
Right.
I sat on my front porch and walked from my front porch to my bedroom. I did that for about a year. The only way she'll take me somewhere if it was for a doctor's appointment.
Wow.
I was at a low point. It was about a year. Yeah, about a year. I was at a low point because my vehicles was towed down. I haven't started receiving any assistance from, Social
Yeah.
Security.
Social Security. Right.
She was just taking me through. And I'm like, you got to open your eyes, buddy. This
Wow.
is not for you, but I had loved her so much, I was just accepting her so much. And you know how you be like, well, they're gonna change. They're gonna change. They're gonna change.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that.
Man, oh my goodness. Yeah,
Oh
that
my
right
God.
there, it broke me pretty good.
Yeah, and then when you think about you're already going through something really heavy, and then you got this on top of it, it was almost like the person that you love is the one tearing you down even more.
And like I said in the beginning, dude, like, because my body was trying to get used to this, so I was in and out the hospital as well.
Right.
And I can be in the hospital, you know what she tell me? Oh, I
Whoa.
don't like hospitals.
But oh man, okay. So I guess my follow up question to that is, did you go to therapy, bro? You know what I mean?
Hey,
Um,
hey, I did.
right.
And shoot, I think I still need therapy now that I still thinking about it.
Nah, that's low key. That's damaging off the rip, bro. Cause I'll be honest, man. My wife, I mean, you met her, right? And
Yeah,
she was in the background, getting the text messages, checking in, talking to the doctors. I mean, she's seen things that should have made her go, you know what? I ain't signed up for this. I'm gonna go do something else. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
on the flip side for me, man, she held it down, man. And I want to apologize, bro, for what you went through, because I think my mind would have split in two if I had to go through that, man. I don't
Man,
know.
hey, you gonna need to do a separate podcast for what I got for you.
we gotta come back and do another episode, bro. Cause
Yes, sir.
there's some stuff we gotta chop up some more, man. So you mentioned your ex was one of the main ones. What about close friends? Did you experience any of that with any peeps that you might have grew up with, or people that you knew for a long time that started acting real, not name dropping or anything like that, but did you experience that with other folks other than the significant other?
Yeah, uh, brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you need help. You know,
Ah.
when you need help with something. People. it get funny when it's money involved. You
Okay.
know, and
Yeah, I
you
hear
have
that.
been there. You have been there for them
Hmm.
when you was up, when you was doing your thing. Anytime they come to you, you there for them. That has never
Hmm.
changed. But when it's their time, no matter how many times I went to them, and I didn't go to them
Right.
every week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe once a month I came to them because I needed to help pay for medication. That's basically what it was, helping pay
Right.
for my medication.
Right.
And then it goes to answering the phone, to not answering the phone, and sooner then they'll send a text message, hey, what's up? It's
Oh.
all of that. Like, oh, you gonna do me like this?
Now, now, how did those situations play a part in whether you asked for help or not?
Brother, I didn't. After
Yeah.
that, I just stopped. Good thing, like I say, the girl I was with,
Yeah.
she she was taking care the bills somewhat.
Okay.
A lot of things got behind and stuff like that. But I just had to, by the grace of God, that whole while we didn't get put out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so it's
Now, I almost could feel like, tell me about like any periods of isolation. Like, we actually need a community. We need supports. We need a sense of like connection with other folks who might be able to sympathize with what we're going through. Um, and one thing that I realized real fast was at the beginning of it all, how life would just continue to go on without me. I got to step back and take a look at everything and say, wow, this feels pretty lonely because I'm the only one in my friend groups that is going through this right now. Did you, that isolation piece, what was that like for you? Like in those quiet times.
disappointment after disappointment. Going people to this, and they just, like you say, they think you faking and stuff like that. And when you go and talk with people, it's like you're not getting the answer that you want. So I I went to my Bible and I was able to sit and listen to God speak and show me what's what.
Hmm.
I tell anybody, God, you got to try God, because like
Yeah.
now they still ask me like being on dialysis, because I can handle so much that some people can't with this dialysis. So I tell them, try God.
Powerful. I'm pretty sure you became real good friends with Job, right?
Man, come on.
Yo, Job went through it. Oh man. In those moments of like isolation and fear and even doubt sometimes, you gotta run to God, man, because that hope, that anchor, you're gonna need that to,
Mhm.
to to walk through this trial. I guess my biggest question for you, because I know you have a story. I don't even think we got to this. What was the onset of your diagnosis? Like what got you CKD? Like
From from hereditary blood pressure, high blood pressure.
high blood, you see, high blood pressure, man.
I actually sit by my aunt on my dad's side some days out the week. I got my
Wow.
granddad, my mom, dad, my mom's sister, and my dad's mom and his sister.
So and how did you find out?
Oh man, my wonderful doctor, Nicoletta.
You gotta love the doc. Shout out to the doctors, man. They be looking out.
I love that lady. It was I say February 21. I had already been going to the doctor and stuff. They trying to get my blood pressure regulated.
Right.
And February 21, she said the rate your kidneys going. Like I say, day before my birthday, December 15th, I was on dialysis.
Wait a minute. She was able to calculate a time frame based on the blood pressure readings?
Yep, and that was February of that year that she told me that.
So what was the panic mode? Did you try to do anything? Like were you trying to switch it up? What was the game plan when you heard that?
Did I? Man, shoot. Well, I was trying everything. They tell you herbal. You can heal your body, herbal. Man, I was taking all kind of stuff. And some stuff did work, don't get me wrong. It did,
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. And I was saying, started retaining fluid. So one of the things that I had did, it started making me urinate more, and it took the fluid away. So by doing that, I went back to my everyday life. I was in panic. I wasn't in panic mode no more, because I feel that I can, come back to that if I need to.
Now they gave you this time frame. you were taking, you're drinking the teas, you're doing the herbal stuff, and then it hit you. They finally told you, yeah, you arrived. What was the first thought that hit your mind?
I had to do blood work the day before. They called me 7 o'clock the next morning and said, "Hey, you need to go back to the hospital. Your blood work not looking at that." I already knew, what was coming, but still, when it's here, it's different. When it's there, it's different. So I walked in the hospital and they did the blood work. About an hour later, they come back. 3 kidney doctors. I cussed all of them out. I
Ah,
ain't want to do it.
I hear you.
I'm for real. They said you need to get on dialysis today.
That day,
That
hold on.
day.
Did you hold on? Okay, so I know it's a process before you get on dialysis. Did you already have like a fistula? Did you already have like a port or
Nope.
something? Oh, snap. Okay.
Man, bro. When they said that, I cussed them out. And that last doctor, I remember sitting on the edge of the bed. The last doctor, he wouldn't leave. He said, "I wouldn't be the doctor I am today if I let you leave." He said, "You will be dead in the morning from a massive heart attack." Because my potassium was through the roof.
Was climbing. Oh, for those of you who don't know, when you have chronic kidney disease, one of the biggest signs that they check for in the blood work is the high potassium levels. While we need potassium for muscle function, for our hearts to contract properly, too much of it in our blood could really do some damage to our heart and cause heart attacks. So the doctor was the lifeline that convinced you to go through with it, because it sounded like you was just like, I'm not with it. We're not doing this at all.
It wasn't the doctor that convinced me. I had called my brother.
Okay.
Even after what the doctor was saying, I was still trying to hear that mess. I was scared.
Yeah, duh. I know we scared. We know to hear that. To give us. I think the biggest thing that sometimes what doctors do, they hit us with and I don't think it's a fear tactic per se, but I think when they give us those timelines, you know what I'm saying? They got to think
Mm-hmm.
about how that impacts us in that moment, because before that we were not thinking about when the exit strategy would have fell apart. You know what I'm saying? So for them
Mm-hmm.
to just drop it on us like that, I wish there was a better way to kind of get us on board with things, instead of like, hey yo, you have like 5 more minutes. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
but I guess that's their job, right? To be truthful in the matter.
Mm-hmm. When he told me that, I was still talking junk. So I said, "Let me think about it." I said, "Let me think about it." I called my brother, my older brother.
And what your brother said, man.
He said, "Fool, you want to die?"
You better do the surgery. Oh man. Hey, shout out to the big brothers out there, man. We appreciate y'all.
Hey, that was there. Like when you said that, I thought about it. I said, "Yeah, you're right." I said, "I thought about my kids." I said, "Man, I said, come on, let's do it. Let's
Mm.
do it."
And so here comes the 8 hour surgery. You come out with a port, and then you had to start dialysis that day after that.
No, sir.
Okay, okay, because I'm pretty sure you had to get some time to recover and all that stuff.
Yeah. Man, actually, that they put it up there in your like right in your neck area.
Right, right, right,
Um,
right by the
I
collarbone.
had I had 3 of them things. My doc, he was like, "Well, since he's still urinating and stuff, we
Right.
can just hold off until the soreness and stuff go down."
Okay.
It did that, and I can't remember why they wind up. Well, I think one of them said, "Well, he's still urinating, so let's take it out."
Oh,
So took it out. Man, next week, right back in there when I had walked in to do some blood work, I walked in there fine. And they said, "Oh, dang, you need dialysis. We need to put this thing." I said, "I just got this from took out last week." The doctor, and when I came in there, he said, "Didn't I just put one and took one out of there?" I said, "Yep."
so now you got to go
Boom.
back in and all the jugglings right now with the whole ports, and oh my gosh.
Man, I mean, it hurt. And um, I was in there. I don't, to this day, I don't know what happened to me.
Mm.
I told him, I said, "Y'all gave me something." When I tell you, it had to take for my brother to tell people. I was sweating so bad, I didn't know what was going on. I was hanging off the bed,
Uh oh.
flies and everything. They had gave me something to put in that port. I don't know what they gave me, but when they gave me that, man, I don't know what. I'm just saying, I don't know what took place. But when I woke back up, I was out of dialysis. I had to been in dialysis, and they put me back in the room.
Wow. Okay, so now I'm thinking about like all the different surgeries you probably had to do in a short period of time, and then navigating all of the healthcare, loops that you had to jump through to make sure everything got properly taken care of. What was that? What was that like? Making sure you talk to the right doctors. How was the care team set up? Did you feel like your care team supported you a lot?
Bro, when I tell you, I want to say I love my doctor, Nicoletta.
Mm.
She's just my kidney doctor, not my primary. I didn't even have a primary.
Huh.
And she was doing everything for me. I didn't even have insurance. And
Right.
she was
Right.
still there for me. That lady there is phenomenal, man. If she's not on vacation, every time I call, she's picking up no matter where she at.
You see, bro, like
I
I
would
be,
even I would
uh,
even be laughing at her because the kids be in the background making noise.
that is first of all that's a crazy story. I'll be honest. How from the surgery to finding out CKD, and then going back to where it all started. At that split between getting the diagnosis and the day before, I guess my question for you now would be, you know, what's one thing about your old life that you miss the most, and how have you learned to live without it?
Traveling like I used to.
All right, let's talk about that.
Um,
Traveling. Yeah.
yeah, now, going to this. Now, when I was on PD, that's how I started. I was
Mhm.
able to take my machine with me.
All right. And for those of you who don't know, PD is peritoneal dialysis. That's a dialysis that goes to a port in the stomach.
Yeah, I was able to take my machine, however many days I've gone away, I could take my fluid with me.
Hmm.
Versus now going to center. In center, I have to call and see if wherever I'm going, see if I can get a chair there, stuff like that. And, just say if I want to go somewhere for a whole week,
Right.
them people, they're going to have to basically rearrange their whole schedule just to accommodate with me.
Oh, so it's yeah. Okay. Okay. I didn't know that part. I thought well, if you make a reservation at any incident before you go, if they're stacked that day or any day out the week. Well, I guess that's my next question. Like, if you're trying to go somewhere and you call a dialysis center and they're booked out and pretty much full for the whole week, what do you do?
You have to reschedule.
Oh, okay. So that's a trip canceled. I can't even imagine like plane tickets and all that stuff. Like if you're flying, or even if you rented a car to go travel out.
Yeah, that's why it's best to, you know, like that to like me to tell me, hey, do it like a month or two in advance, maybe like 2 months in advance.
Okay.
Um, get it scheduled so that they can accommodate you. If I was going on a cruise when I was on PD, no problem. I was able to communicate with the cruise ship and the dialysis center sunk my fluid to the
Mm,
ship. All I had to do was bring my machine. Versus now for the hemo, I talked to my nurse. She said it's very expensive for me.
mm.
I had to pay out of pocket for that. Insurance won't pay for that.
One thing that I can appreciate about your story, um, well, from what you told me so far, is the fact that, while I'm not there just yet, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things I can still appreciate. It's more like, while I'm here, I'm pretty sure there's somebody else that wishes they were where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? So it kind of helps me to remain grateful too. Even for you, like I'm pretty sure, even the stage where you're at, there's somebody else who might be somewhere deeper. Now, I know for me, I got my little taste of stage 5 myself. My kidney function had dropped to like 11. And I knew what that felt like. That metal taste in the mouth.
Yes, sir.
The energy levels super shot. You can't really function. Salute to you on all of that because the surgery, getting the multiple surgery, switching up the different, ports, all of the confusion out is because it sounded like confusion to me. Like one doctor did this, they took it out, now they're putting it back in again. Like I think I would have been super stressed out. So going back to the farming, because what I want to do is I want to connect, farming with like, how you're enduring the chronic illness. I'm thinking about like you being a farmer, knowing when you got to do certain things. What are some of the signs that like, all right, it's time for another treatment? How does that setup work and connected with like farming?
You
Hmm.
just have to. One thing about this, Alex, you got to pay attention to your body. You have to pay attention because your body's gonna tell you.
Yeah.
And like I say, if I be drunk, if I drink too much,
Okay.
I have too much on. I don't. I really don't swell anymore. But sometimes, if I drink too much, my fingers they'll swell a little bit. You'll start, you're not technically. struggling to breathe, but
Mm.
you got a breath a lot easier. And see, so that's why I think you have to pay attention to your body because everybody's body different. Like before I got on dialysis, my legs used to swell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They don't swell anymore. So like I say, every now and then, if it's too much, it'll be my hand, my fingers, they'll swell. And like I say, short of breath sometimes. Yeah, because see, what I do, I used to have bad nosebleeds, man. That
Okay.
was one of the signs of the kidney failure that I had too. So
Wow.
in those bad nosebleeds, they told me to always sleep with my head propped up now because it had to woke me. That them nosebleeds used to wake me up in the middle of the night. I sleep with a CPAP machine, so it'll fill my doggone mask up. And so now, I sleep with my head propped up, so I don't have too much, time like, where I have trouble breathing because I sleep with that CPAP, so it's constant, with air.
You know.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna have to talk to you off record to see if we can talk about it on record.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
ain't, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Gosh. Yeah.
So
So
whenever you're ready for that off the record first, we gonna talk.
absolutely, absolutely. When it comes to healthcare and being a guy, what do you think is the biggest barrier that probably stops us from? And I know now you have a solid doctor, but like thinking about men in general, what is your perspective as far as like being a guy and then going to the doctors and getting checkups? Do you think like that could be a barrier for men sometimes, or do you feel like we just need to be proactive and just hurry up and get ourselves to the doctor's office and get checked?
Again, I go back to what I said about us being men, how some of us was raised. Now, don't get me wrong, you got a lot of fathers out here tell you, son, hey man, make sure you get your checkup and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely.
That to me, it goes back to how was you raised? Um, a lot of men, like the old folks, the old heads.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm gonna just take a little something I got around the house and try to fix it like that.
Mm,
Uh, some men, bro, they wait till it's too late, and
yeah.
they feel like it's just a little bug or something like that. But me, in the beginning, I was like that. But once I went to seeing how serious this thing was, hey, I ain't gonna miss not one appointment. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm calling to see, hey, when my next appointment?
Right.
Hey, too many months that went by, like, I was on it. Like, come on, man. Talk to
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. One thing that I found is that a lot of guys, the reason why they probably don't or not really wanting to go to the doctor's office is actually the opposite of what they're trying to portray. Men always try to act like they're not scared of nothing. We good, man.
Oh,
We
yeah.
invincible. We got this. But really, the truth is they don't want to find out what it could really be. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like
I
that.
hear you on that. Here's a guy. So I'm part of a fight club,
Okay.
motorcycle club down here,
Okay.
and one of the guys in there, from what I've heard, a guy, older gentleman, what didn't want to go to the doctor.
Uh-oh.
Stuff was bothering him and stuff like that, but didn't want to go to the doctor. And then when he did decide to go, it was too late. As soon as he found out, man, it wasn't even a whole year. He was out of here, bro.
I'll say this. I'll make this appeal to all the guys out there listening. Bro, get checked up. like, like,
Please.
be honest with yourself, man. You'll be the last person to want to find out from a doctor that you had something going on the whole time, and all you could have done was probably take some herbs or take a prescription that could have helped deal or manage it. And now it's far gone to the point where you have to go through surgery. You got to do maybe chemo. You got to do so many different complex different things. So please get checked out. Don't let fear kind of grip you from actually doing what you need to do for your body. There's only one you.
You get a lot of them, like me, I'm from the country, and a lot of those old heads, oh, them doctors don't know what they talking about. And
Ah,
let me tell them, God put them here for a reason.
absolutely.
So they
Absolutely.
know what they're doing. Like, you'll know if you going in there, you don't see no results, if you don't see no positive things happening, yeah, hey, get away from that doctor. But
Yeah.
every doctor's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's why it's so important to advocate for yourself.
The doctor, he ain't gonna know too much of nothing because you tell him he's not inside of your body. I don't care how much blood work they do.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
You
He's
know,
not going to know. He's not walking it. He's not walking it like you are. considering everything that you shared, from the whole diagnosis to, navigating isolation to, experiencing people who kind of unvalidated your journey, the surgeries, all of that stuff. Um, what's what's one thought that gets you through the hardest days? One thought that makes you, you know what, I got to keep pushing.
So I look at it. I say you have to keep pushing because if I keep moving, keep pushing, my kids they watching me,
Mm,
and I talk with them a lot, and it's especially my son.
yeah.
That boy that watch everything I do, so I have to continue to tell myself to keep pushing. It's
Wow.
gonna get better today. I always tell myself, oh, that kid is gonna come next this month. That kid is gonna come this month.
Now, Gerard, are you? I know you're listed, right? Have you gotten any offers yet? Okay.
Um, they say once they do the catheter, that kidney is closed.
Okay.
And my social worker over there, she told me that they've been getting offers, but by them being a smaller hospital, they
Mm,
get the top, like the best kidney. So the
right.
ones that they've been offering me, they haven't been the best.
Okay. But there's that possibility that any moment you might get that phone call.
Yeah, and then my brother, he's going through the process now. He has faxed over his paperwork. He's gonna give me his. I got
Wow.
even my younger sister. They tell you like get them on. However many you can that want to donate, they'll do the testing on all of them, and they'll just get the best one out of all.
Oh
Man,
my gosh.
all honestly, soon as he send that stuff, he waiting on something. It can happen within the next few months. Oh yeah,
Wow.
man. I would say, once you I'm gonna keep saying, try God. And when He talk to you, He gonna give you confirmation on everything.
Gerard, Gerard, bro, thank you so much for this like incredible conversation, bro. Like your story is absolutely it's a masterclass. It's a whole masterclass on resilience, bro, and like your commitment to living, your commitment to your family, commitment to your legacy and to your own life, your kids. I just want you to know, bro, like I appreciate you for just opening up and you still got some stories to share with me, man. Uh,
Oh yeah.
you opened up, you talked about, just managing dialysis and, farming and continuing that legacy just so that you can provide for your family. I think a lot of people don't like to go the extra mile just to do that, but bro, you're a living example of how to do that and do it with a smile on your face as best as you can, right? Um, I know people are listening. I know people are going to want to follow your journey. I already know this. So could you please share the best way for people to connect with you? Whether it's social media, a website, or a hashtag that they can use to follow you or follow your farm. Cause you know me, I'm going to come through and look at this watermelon business, right? But what are some ways, bro? What are some ways that people could connect with you, whether on social media, man?
um, Follow me on Facebook, Jarod Palmer. It's 2 pages,
All
but
right.
go to the one that it has the one I'm wearing a blue shirt.
Okay.
Um, and then TikTok. My name Jarod Palmer. That's where I'm gonna be doing majority. I post more of some clips of farming and stuff on there. My nurse Meg, she been getting
Hmm.
on my butt. She been telling me, man, post your stuff on here.
And shout out to
So
Megan.
yeah. Oh man, she gonna get me. She told me to let her know when I got on here.
Oh,
Uh
okay. Don't worry. I'll shoot her a text message. Don't worry. I got you, bro. I got you. Oh
but
man.
it's I'm gonna start posting more stuff. I've never been a very outspoken person, but by being on this dialysis, I'm getting better.
Hmm.
Um, Even like being in front of a camera, I did
Yeah.
like a one video on that TikTok. It took me like 4 times to post it because I'd be nervous. So yeah,
Oh
so yeah,
man.
y'all can follow me on Facebook, Jarod Palmer, TikTok, Jarod Palmer, but I'll be posting more. I got some videos on that now, but on my TikTok, that's where I'll be posting majority of my videos of the farm.
Fantastic. Fantastic, man. Well, I already follow you on TikTok. So peeps, I'll make sure I put all those links and hashtags, I'll put them in the story notes. I'll put them in the description so you can follow Gerard and connect with him. But man, Gerard, bro, it's been such an honor to get to know you. And again, brother, man, thank you so much for being on the Chronic Brew.
Oh yeah.
And there we have it. On the Road to Resilience with Jarod Palmer. Jarod, thank you again. Your openness about managing your health and the fierce commitment to your family's legacy, it's a true masterclass in resilience. I'm so grateful that my doctor's appointment still led us to this conversation still. For all our listeners who want to follow Jarod's journey, we just heard the social media details, but the easiest way to find everything, his TikTok and Facebook handle, is right here in the episode description. So go ahead and check it out and show him some love. And once again, to all our listeners, I just want to say thank you for joining us for another powerful episode. Next time, we'll continue the theme of navigating big life changes with chronic illness. We're bringing on a guest who had to completely switch professions after their diagnosis and figure out how to thrive in a whole new world of work and wellness. If you've ever had to pivot your career because of your health, you won't want to miss this conversation. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, thank you for listening to the Chronic Brew. I'm Mr. Cool Beans. I'm out. Peace.